How are you doing? I just want to share this experience with somebody, um, with you all. The thing about it is, looking back on it, had I been a little older and more mature, maybe I would have handled it a little better. Or probably just quit on a job right then and there, but I don't know. I was very young at the time. And I want to sit here and say that, in the South, you know, any type people do not fail to let you know where you stand and how they really feel about the color of your skin. And it's so casual there, and it's just so open. It's just disgusting and ridiculous. But here's what happened. I was working in this place where this was the type of place that like held really maybe upscale parties, I want to say. They would like serve like expensive champagne and food. It was like stuff like lobster and stuff like like stuff that were, I don't know, just like caviar, stuff like that. So what happened was we were having this they were having this gathering. It was all male. They were all male. And they were, of course, like with a place like that, you get to request which way you want the room to be. I don't want to say designed, but I'll have to say like the way you want it set up. If you want candles, what type of music you want playing, the type of food, things like that. And like I said, this was an all male function, and they were also able to request even just having all female waitresses. And so that's pretty much what had happened. This place had actually came there for a couple of years. So I guess they was considered regulars. And so, like I said, they were able to request just women waitresses, and we weren't called waitresses. We were something else. We were like servers or something like that. But he had also requested to my boss no black women. And so I was like, I feel like now to think about it, I feel like my boss shouldn't have even put up with that. He should not have even served them. Like when they first had said that, I'm sure, because I wasn't the only like woman that worked there or have worked there. It wasn't a lot of us, but it's like I'm sure he said that before his last couple times coming here. But they were paying so much money that I think the company kind of overlooked it or whatever. I think that's kind of pretty much what happened. And so that's what my boss told me. I said no black women. So I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna go anywhere where I'm not wanted. I'm not gonna get in your face and whatever. Like I'm gonna stay as far away from that crowd as possible. And so basically, what happened was they needed help with something. Like they needed to take a certain amount of champagne bottles up there, and so my boss and it wasn't enough people up there, or women, and so my boss was like, April, I need you to go over there and take this over there. I'm like, sir, you just specifically told me not to go over there, and you told me why, like you want me to go over there now. And so he was like, well, he's like, just take this up there and then leave immediately, just come back down. So I'm like, okay. So I wound up taking, champagne up there and stuff like that. And when I was turning to leave, the dude in charge, because I knew who he was, because he was there before everybody else, and he had I think he might even have a name tag on or something like that. And he was like, where are you going? I said, sir, my boss told me that I need to just bring y'all this champagne, and now I need to leave. He needs me down there. Have a nice day, sir. Goodbye. He said, well, well, why are you leaving? And like, he was so persistent about it, and he literally after what he said, after what he told me, he literally waited for my response and was like, and I'm like, well, sir, you specifically said no black women. And then he was just looking at me like I was crazy, like I was like confused, and I'm like, I'm black, sir. Have a nice day, you know. And so he was like, well, you don't look black. I'm like, well, I am, sir. And then I have a nice day. And then he said, well, you're not dark. I said, there people are different shades, sir. You know, and that just like really threw me, because first of all, he wasn't foreign. You see people who look like me every day, you know. I mean, there are people who are, I live around a bunch of Hispanics, and there are people who have my same complexion who don't speak a word of English. There are, you know, so are there different, you know, people from different origins, and they may speak a different language. They may not identify as African American, but they even consider themselves black. There's Cubans who consider themselves black. They call themselves Afro-Latina. I've seen some dark Puerto Ricans and call themselves Afro-Latina, or just call themselves black. So like, I don't understand. What do you mean? How do you mean? And what is he talking about? Like, oh, you don't look like what? I don't even look biracial. There's no way that you don't know that I'm a black woman. And so he wouldn't let me leave, and he was like, well, I don't want you to go. And I said, sir, my boss told me I need to leave. So if I'm going to get in trouble if I don't leave out of here. He's like, but I don't want you to go. And he took a step forward towards me, and I'm looking at him like he's crazy. I'm like, I mean, everything is going through my head right now. You specifically said no black woman. I am obviously a black woman. He basically, to some degree, admitted to what he said by telling me that, oh, I wasn't dark, you're this, or I didn't think you were black, but now you won't let me leave. Like, this dude was weird. He was a weirdo. And he didn't let me leave. So how I got out of that is, like, one of his friends or whatever from the group or whatever, he had came up and put his hand on and started talking to him and distract him, and that's when I got the heck out of there. And I told my boss what happened, and I was like, dude, don't make me go back up there. I'm not going back up there, because that dude was a nut. And yeah, that was my experience with something like that. It was so weird, and shame on my boss, and shame on that business for even allowing that to happen to any of us. And you get back what you put out there, because that place is no longer in service.